Good people, it is your boy. It's been a while, but PRMD is back live in effect. I wanted to make sure that before we, while it's the off season, I want to make sure that we spotlight some of our kids, especially the county kids. They don't always have to be Ville kids, so I give credit where credit is due. And those kids that can play ball can just flat out play ball. And so tonight, I wanted to make sure that I spotlighted and got an interview with one of the, if not the best. It all depends on I believe who you start to ask, preference sake, but I think we can all agree that he has absolutely dominated on every level. He's done something in every facet of the game, and we're gonna talk to him about recently signing to Oregon and a bunch of other things. Gallie's Mr. Do It All, Xavier Lherisse. What's up, man?
Nothing much, just chilling. How about yourself?
Right, man. Everything's good, man. I thank you for coming on. I thank you for joining and being a part of this, man. So, let me ask you, how has things been for you over the last few weeks? You done had the last few busy weeks. You took the guys back to the regional finals. It didn't end how you guys wanted it to, but y'all still made it there, and I think that was the third time in school history. Two times you being a part of that, so I think that is a major accomplishment for you. And then you signed to the University of Oregon a few days after that. So how has life been going for you so far?
It's been crazy, It's all going by so quick. I leave in 15 days, so I really just been trying to stay grounded and hang out with my family and my friends. Just enjoy the time I got in Florida while I got it.
Man. So how you get ready to go to Oregon? You about to go in the cold. You about to you about to have a big time transition of sorts because you're moving clear across the country, about to be a P4 football player. Life's about to change as you know it. How have you kind of been mentally preparing for this moment as you're about to go to college?
Yes, sir. I know it's gonna be a crazy jump. So me and my dad have been getting on it early. We've been waking up super early in the morning, going out for mile runs in the morning when it's cold, working out during school and after school, getting on the track, getting my feet work right, getting my speed right. Because I know it's gonna be a major jump, but I want to be ready for when I'm up there. So we've been getting right.
Man, shout out to your pops, man. He's a good guy, man. And shout out to your uncle Gabe, because if nobody is gonna ride for you, Gabe is riding till the wheels fall off. So
Facts.
shout out to them, man. You come from a really good family. But yeah, man, just that putting in that work. I don't believe that there might be a harder worker than you in the county. I know that you played three sports at one time in your career. You've done a lot on the football field, and I was looking over your accomplishments one time, and I saw that we were involved in all of your special teams touchdowns. Every game, we have been a part of one special teams touchdown. So, like, what do you see when you're on the field and a team's about to kick you the ball? What's going through your head at that time?
Really just thinking if they kick the ball to me, they messed up. No matter how you kick it, no matter where you kick it, if it's in the general area of me and I get it, it's going to the crib every time because I'm just more athletic than everybody. I'm just going to run right past you and make you miss. So I love that feeling whenever the ball's up in the air and I know I got a chance to return it.
I saw I saw our kick and I saw it bounce and I'm like, yeah, he's not going to. Never mind. never mind. Never mind. Well, let's go back to that play specifically. What was going through your head? What did you see? Anything specific that kind of just let you know that you would be able to score that touchdown?
That game was at first it was close, it was rough. We couldn't really get anything going on offense, and I knew we needed a big play, so I knew we had to get something done on special teams. And teams usually try to kick away from me, but whenever I saw it bounce, I knew I could return it. I knew I had to make some shake, and I do what I do, and I'm best at what I do.
Man, and that's good stuff, man. You had the chance to be a mentor of sorts to some young guys who are going to be big time football players. They already big time in their own right, but I think the world will probably get a chance to know them by the time it's all said and done with their careers. Captain and Xavier Corbin, those guys. How have you been a mentor of sorts to them to let them know, like, look, y'all can probably take it further than I took it. You could probably be the fifth, get a fifth star, be a 5-star athlete, have offers from everybody. What has been your kind of mentoring to them?
Really just letting them know that it's not handed to them because they both are young. They're both freshmen and already 6'3", so they got what I didn't have. And I
Right,
honestly feel like if I had that, I'd be the number one player in the country. So I'm just
right,
not. I'm not gonna let that go to waste. I'm gonna make sure they're getting in the weight room. They're getting in their playbook. I've just been trying to install that into their brains that they got to put in the work for what they want, even though God has blessed them with the athletic and the genetics to be prototypical football player.
right, right. And let me also ask you, like, how was it this year teaming up with TJ Monroe? TJ, I've watched TJ since he was a little kid. He's always been an exciting football player, but I think with you, Corbin, and TJ all together on the offensive end, it was exciting to see. Not exciting to play against, but definitely exciting to watch, man. So how was that teaming up with TJ for your senior year, or
It was.
TJ teaming up with you? However it goes.
Yeah, it was fun. At first during over the summer and over the spring when he was coming out there, we had Joe, so we were
Oh,
looking real scared. We were thinking that we was going to be a top three team in the state, which we honestly could have been. But
right.
whenever Joe went down, it was still like it was definitely a little scary at first because I didn't know how well I was going to be able to throw the ball. But just being out there practicing with TJ, him not well really understanding that I'm not a quarterback and not getting frustrated with me and just working with him. We became a great duo just throwing the ball. So it's been great working with him.
Definitely. What? Let's go back to jokes because I want to buy stock in the fact that I can believe that y'all probably could have played with Miami Northwestern and Reigns if Joseph's healthy. What did you say to yourself after he got injured? He got injured so early in the season. I think that was the Vero game. He got injured. He gets injured, goes down. What was it that you maybe what was the message that Coach Sand said to you that you were going to have to be the guy to put this team on your back, and wherever that team was going to go, it was going to be at the expense of you leading them.
It's really just I've shown it for the past 3 years I've been playing. Every time I step on the field, I'm the best player, and that's really what he just tried to get across my mind. That if I go out there and just play at my 100%, can't nobody mess with me. So at first it was a little frustrating because I ain't never really played quarterback. But the more I worked at it, and the more that I realized if I just go out here and play my 100, it's better than most guys. Most guys like it was just really just came more easy, and it felt good just to go out there and do what I did.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So, as you about to get ready, like I said earlier, you're about to get ready to go off to Oregon in a few weeks. What have they been telling you? They plan to how have they been telling you that they plan to use you once you get out there? Will you be a traditional cornerback, safety, or will you be on the offensive end? What have they been saying?
Since day one, they've been saying I'm versatile, so I'm probably gonna go up there and play that slot corner and play some free safety. So I'll play all over the defense at the DB area. But we haven't really talked about it. But they made some jokes about letting me play some running back and get some offensive packages. But shoot, if they let me do that, I'm gonna end up winning a Heisman.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this: uh, you have like we seen the Travis Hunter model. I think even Demetrius Samuels played some offensive plays this year. If given the opportunity to play both sides, is that something that you are willing to do? I know you
Oh,
can do it, but is that something that you want to do at the college level?
definitely. Hey, put me anywhere on the field. As long as I'm getting on the field, I'll play anywhere. It don't even matter.
I like it, man. I like it, man. So I saw or somewhere where it's well, it might have been a graphic that I saw that said you were committed for about 200 plus days. Um, in a day where now people are kind of flip flopping, they don't really stay committed to what they say. What is your story that makes you so different, and what was it that you saw at Oregon and you said, "This is where I need to be. This is where I want to be, and this is where I'm going to be"? What was that?
Definitely just how they showed how I was a need and not really a want. Through the whole recruiting process, I was one of their main priorities. For other schools, I was like, all right, he's good, but we're gonna wait to see if he grows. They
Right.
weren't that. They trusted in me. They knew my abilities from day one, and that really was a big factor in it. And really just how they stayed recruiting me after I committed too, because like a bunch of schools, they were heavy on me. Then when I committed, they just completely like I was shut out. Them, they just made sure to stay on me, made sure to still recruit me, even though I was committed and with other schools trying to come get me still. Just really shows why I love those coaches and why I want to go play up there in Oregon.
That's good stuff, man. And what were you looking for in the recruiting process? I know, like at that level, at the P4 level, all the stadiums are all the same. Every school looks the same, but every school isn't the same. But so, what was something that you kind of maybe you and your parents sat down and wrote out and said, "This is what we're looking for, and this is what we kind of this is going to this the perfect school is going to check off all these boxes." Was there anything like that for you?
Yeah, definitely just how Oregon's gonna put me in the best position to develop as a person and a player. My goal is playing the NFL, and I trust Coach Ham and Coach Landon because they do a good job at putting people in the league. But also not just that is about how they their family chemistry and how they do things up there. Just being up there is gonna make me a better person just as much as I'm gonna be a better football player.
Have you had the chance to talk to some of the other guys that you signed with, and maybe all y'all have been already connected and excited about getting up there? I do know they have some guys already up there that are definitely some ballers. But have you been building relationship with your future teammates already?
Yeah, we already got a whole bunch of group chats and we texting that every day. We're all ready to go up there and start getting to work.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. So, what would be something that you would say to a kid there? Because I know that, and I've probably received some messages, a few messages of kids have who want to be in your position. That maybe not the University of Oregon, but they want to sign to a school. They want to have all. They want to have schools looking at them and trying to recruit them. But that's not their story. What would you say to a kid? What advice would you give to maybe a fellow senior or maybe some underclassmen that are looking at you and maybe some other kids signing to schools and wondering when their chance is going to come or how does their chance come? What would be some motivational tips that you would give to them?
Definitely just keep working, man. It has to be an everyday grind. People talk about it all the time about how they're working out, how they're going to the field, but they don't actually do it every day. If you go in and put the work in every day, your work's gonna be noticed. It's not gonna go unnoticed. So just keep working. Don't listen to what other people have to say about you, because no matter what you do, they're gonna talk. So just keep your head down and stay working.
And how, in a world where there's a lot of people talking, me being one of those people, uh, and my doubts were not ever doubts. It was just I had to ride for the team. I had to ride for I had to be loyal to the team because it would be this what would happen. I would go to the practice and they'd be like, "Man, why are you showing so much love to this person or that person or this person?" So I had to make sure I was on the right side of right. But I I said every game we played you've made a play that I just was like, how did he do that? There's always a moment, and we talked about the game where our Titusville game this season, and I want to focus on the Coco game this season. Coco, I really was impressed with that Titusville punt return, but the Coco game this season for you, I really was impressed because I felt like you were picking on their quarterback. I felt like you was picking on them. Like it just seemed like whenever the game is a little personal to you, you can tell. You know what I'm saying? Because it always shows. Like it was the time last year when you was wiping your nose, and I was like, I see, I see, I see. So, like, what makes you go out there and just play with that chip on your shoulder to kind of be a bully out there of sorts?
Really just I hate whenever people say I can't do nothing or they try to compare me to other people when I know I'm better. Because I personally don't think there's anybody on this earth that's better than me at my position, at the game of football. That's just me. So I'm gonna go out there. If someone says something, I'm gonna go out there and show them why they're wrong. And I had a bunch of people talking that week saying I wasn't even the best athlete in the county. Wasn't good enough to beat Coco. No one has ever beaten Coco single handedly, and
Right.
how we don't got a real quarterback, so it was gonna be a blowout. So I just had to go out there and show them what I could do.
And what was the stat line for that game? I know it was 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I did.
I know it was a touchdown too.
I think
Uh,
I had 2 touchdowns. I had one get called back. I think it was like 175 rushing yards, and I had some passing yards too.
I,
But
I've always told people that if you're gonna beat Gallie, you got to stop them from scoring touchdowns, because whenever they start scoring touchdowns and celebrating, it's over. You cannot reel them back in once they start celebrating. What was the culture like at Gallie that y'all just kind of, it always seemed like y'all had a celebratory vibe, like with the coaches, the players, everybody starts celebrating. Like, what? How did y'all kind of build that culture and camaraderie amongst each other?
we at first we were trying to stay dedicated on having a very disciplined team, but when you have some characters on your team who like to score a lot, so it's kind of tough to hold us back whenever we're scoring 3 or 4 touchdowns a game. And we got JMO picking boogers on Sunday night. So every time we see a little trend, Coach Sands can't stop us from doing it. But he's been doing a good job at holding us back and keeping the celebrations to where we don't get too many flags.
Or let's talk about the last game, the very last game. You laid it all on the line at Bishop Moore. How did that feel when you came up short? What was that moment like when you realized that this was the end of it all?
It definitely sucks. It's a feeling I never want to feel again. It sucks. I hate losing, especially in the
Right.
game like that when I gave it my all, ran the ball, threw the ball, did all I could. We still came up short. But it was definitely just a feeling of relief, just to look back and see what I've done in O'Galley and to see how I'm going to be remembered in the town and not really just the school, but just knowing that I'm going to be able to move on and go to Oregon and start my life and go have a successful career in football. I just felt great.
Definitely, I definitely love to hear that. What do you believe, or where do you believe you rank in the history of eGalley football players to ever come through the program? Are you number one? I don't want to put too much pressure on you. So if this is push the envelope, you don't have to answer it. But are you number one, or I know you top five, but where on the five are you? Are you number one, or are you number two? Because you're not under two. So I just wanted to ask you, where would they put you on the Mount Rushmore, if you will?
Definitely number one. There ain't no debate about it. Ain't no debate.
I feel that, man. I definitely feel that. I respect the confidence, man, because I don't see that confidence in a lot of kids sometimes, because we kind of live in a day now where kids are motivated until adversity strikes, or until they have a moment where it seems like it gets a little rough. What keeps you balanced and keeps you with that overall chip on your shoulder? I think you've been consistent tonight in saying that, I'm ready to ball. I know what I can do. Size doesn't matter. I'm ready to play football.
Definitely just knowing having next play mentality. You got to be able to know your abilities and know what I can do on the football field. So if I let one bad play stop me, I'm in my head for the rest of the game. I can't do nothing. You just got to go out there, get a calm little 60-yard punt return touchdown, get back in your groove, and go rush for 2 more.
Man, that is good stuff. So let's talk about this. You're about to go up to school. You're going. Once you get to school, you got to get adjusted. But let's talk about your first spring practice. What are your expectations personally? I would like to hear this because I've like I said a few minutes ago, you were so confident. I just want to hear what your expectations are for yourself personally as you get prepared to go out there and start your college career.
Yes, sir. I definitely know I'm gonna be back at bottom of the depth chart, but I'm just going out there and I want to compete. I want to make sure my first day the coaches know that Xavier Lherisse is out there because I'm gonna be not if I'm not with the ones I'm gonna be competing like I should be because you gonna definitely see me when I'm out there on the field for practice.
That I agree. I absolutely agree. I also want to ask you, how do you feel like it's going to be when you go up against guys in practice like Decory Moore and some of those guys that y'all have at receiver? How do you expect those one-on-ones to go? Are you? I know you're gonna be ready. I just want to know how you feel like they're gonna go sometimes
You know,
or
I feel
all the
like
time.
I feel like at first it's gonna start off a little slow, but once I get into the groove of things, it's a no fly zone around me, boy. Ain't nobody finna catch no balls.
Good stuff. And have you decided on a number that you're gonna wear? Have they told you can get 11? Is 11 available, or are you going to start a new wave in college?
Yeah,
What's your
I don't know yet, but I know 11's open right now, so we'll see whenever I get out there.
Okay, okay. I like it for you, man. Let, I didn't this year. I followed y'all, and it was a lot of guys I did keep up with, but I didn't know everybody. So, who are some of the guys on y'all team that were some of the guys, maybe seniors, whoever it is, who you want to give a shout out to tonight from Gallie?
Definitely Tay Johnson, Yusuf, and Lucas Fazeli. You know, all three young receivers. You know, gonna carry the wave over Galley for the next couple of years.
Right.
So, yes, sir.
Also, I needed to make sure that I asked this. Um, TJ Monroe. TJ Monroe. You, TJ, and Xavier Corbin were something hard to watch. It was hard for people to game plan against. But how was that grouping up with TJ? And I hate that it's so much of what it could have been because Joseph wasn't there. But I would have liked to see what it would have been like with Joseph being there.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that opportunity. But how was it like? What was it like playing with TJ for your senior year?
It was definitely fun because me and TJ went to seventh grade together, so like I've already knew of him and we was friends. But just the adversity that we faced, and, you know how times got tough and we both stuck it out, both got to work, and both led our team to the regional finals. It was definitely fun just being hanging around him, being at practices with him after the games. It was fun.
Man, I agree. I think that it was fun to watch from a distance. I saw y'all boys, and I put respect on y'all boys because I felt like Egali was the only team that really never talked. They just waited for the opportunity to play, and then they were going to go from there. And you were one of those guys that I never really heard any talking from. I just always knew that you were going to there was going to be some symbolism that let me know who you knew what I was talking about. So man, I want to thank you for coming on. I think it was important to give flowers while people can smell them. You've been that guy. We never got the chance to beat you. I wish we could have, but it just that wasn't our story. But I know you're gonna go to Oregon and do great things, man. And I'm excited to keep up with you and watch all that you're doing. Like I said, thank you for coming on and giving us the interview before you go off to college.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Yes, sir. So, man, I'll be keeping up with you, and I'll be in contact with your dad to ask about you. Tell him I said thanks for setting this up and having you come on, man.
Yes, sir. I got you. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
So, yeah, people, that was all fun. That was great. I want to thank Xavier Lherisse for coming on and doing that interview. We got more interviews to come, man. Please understand that we are not done yet. We got more interviews to come, so please keep up with us. Please like and share. Please follow PRMD, all things PRMD. You got to keep up with PRMD. So that's all I have for y'all tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. That was 4-star Oregon signee Xavier Lherisse checking in with PRMD. Have a good one.